What's up, guys? Welcome to the Last Word with Ahmed podcast, where I talk about life, travel, and how to better yourself daily as a human. And I'm your host, Ahmed. Wow. So, episode 3, week 3. I hope you guys have enjoyed the first 2 episodes. If you haven't listened to it, make sure you guys go back and listen to it. Those first 2 were how-tos. So, yep, we're on season 1, episode 3 now. So, as you can see by this title, I want to talk about how I almost kind of died from COVID. Almost died from COVID twice, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie to you. But that's the episode topic today. Before we get into it, if you guys are on YouTube, make sure you guys give a like on the video. Make sure you guys are subscribed if you're new. If you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, make sure you guys follow and leave a review. So yeah, let's get into the story. It's a story time today. So as we know, COVID hit back in the end of 2019. So at this time, I'm a freshman in college, actually. This is my first semester. I'm finishing my first semester. And then COVID hit. It started hitting in December, but lockdown started maybe in March, I believe. Yeah, in March. So they lock us in school, basically. They lock us in the dormitories. We can't go outside the school. We only can stay on campus. Horrible time, I'm not even gonna lie to you. But they put us on campus. They locked us. So they started on March. So March till December or November of 2020. This is the new year, 2020. COVID was still going on, of course, at the end. And at school we weren't supposed to go out, quote unquote. Students were supposed to go outside outside the school, just in case they didn't want COVID to come back into the school, essentially, and start a spread. You know what I'm saying? So some students, we all know, not everybody's gonna follow those rules or whatever. I'm not ranting. Chill, I'm not ranting. Everybody knew that, so it's not ranting technically. So in November, eventually, there was 3 buildings in the school. There's 3 dormitories. So one night I was sleeping, and at 3 a.m. one of the supervisors came in and started screaming on the speakers, "Oh, the people in the first building, there's been positive cases, da. Mind you, at that time I wasn't really feeling sick, so I was just chilling. So after that, they locked us inside the building itself and said that we can't go out. So after that happened, the next morning they said they're gonna test everybody for COVID. So mind you, when I woke up that morning, I was feeling sick. I thought I was I legit thought I was on my deathbed. I was I couldn't smell. My breathing was horrible. I couldn't taste my food. It was horrible. So I already had in my mind yep, it's time for me. I'm done. So I went to the testing place. They tested everybody, and they came back into the rooms. They locked us in our rooms to make sure we didn't go out and mingle with other students or whatever. So they went to each room to give everybody the results. So they came to my room, and then the results, of course, I wasn't surprised. It came back positive. I was sick. I was oh my, I was really that was the sickest I ever felt in my life that I can remember, to be honest. So they took us. And then they took us to a hotel to quarantine for a couple of days. And I was sick for a week or 2 weeks, actually. 2 weeks I was sick. And even after the fact that when I recovered, my breathing was horrible. Even till now, if I get a cold or a flu or something, my breathing stand is kind of difficult a little bit. But at that time, after I recovered, I was still wasn't breathing properly. So when I would go work out or when I would play football or whatever, my breathing was terrible, to be honest. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's a one-time thing, yada yada yada. So that next year, 2022, this is when they the vaccines came out, and they started or 2021, I believe. No, 2021, I'm sorry. Yeah, 2021, that's when vaccines came out, and they started basically forcing people to take it. Schools, work, they're telling people if you don't take it, you can't come to school or you can't work or yada yada yada. So I ended up taking the vaccine. I took, what's it called? I think it was Sinopharm. I don't even know anymore. Sinopharm or whatever. And I put it in my body. So that was March of 2021. So we come back another full year in December at the end of 2021. Because remember, I got sick the first time in 2020, November. So 2021, December came back around. So me and my friend, I was planning to go to Egypt for the winter break. But before a couple of days of going to Egypt, I planned with my friend. I'm like, you know what? Yo, let's go to Oman, a city nearby. Let's go to Oman, check out the waterfalls, check out the amazing views. So we planned it. When we planned it, a few days before the trip, actually, because I already had got my passport and everything, a few days before my trip, I started feeling like the symptoms again. So I was like, oh my gosh, it can't be again. So I started feeling like I had the flu. I couldn't breathe properly. My nose was stuffed. I couldn't smell. So I was like, yo, I might have COVID again. But I was thinking, I'm like, yo, should I just stuck it out and not take a test? But I believed at that time to go into Oman, you needed a test anyways. So I was like, oh man. I was like, so I might as well. So a few days before the trip, I was like with my friend, I was like, yo, bro, I'm not feeling good. He was like, yeah, he not feeling good either. I kind of blame. I'm like, yo, you probably gave it to me, to be honest, but I ain't going, you feel me? I ain't going to get into all that. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a test a few days before the trip and see how it goes. So I took a test. I'm so scared. Like, I'm legit waiting for the results. So I go to sleep that night. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, yo, what if this come back positive? My trip to Oman is canceled. And my trip to Egypt would have been done too. Like, my trip to Egypt would have been canceled also because I would have had to quarantine for 10 days. So I waited, like 3 a.m., my phone buzzed. And I woke up. I looked at it. All I saw was my name. It said tested positive. I was so heated, bro. I legit wanted to cry because, bro, I already planned everything. I already planned my winter vacation. I already planned what I was going to do and everything. So I had to tell the supervisors that I'm positive. And I was still feeling sick. Like, my breathing was bad. I couldn't smell. I couldn't really taste anything. So it was just horrible. Like, I legit felt like I was about to die, especially with my breathing part. I'm going to keep bringing that up because that's the worst thing you can feel, to be honest. So after that, those trips got canceled and I had to get put into a quarantine. I got put into quarantine with one of my UK friends also. This is another friend. But we got put into quarantine together in another building. And I was just upset because also I took the vaccine. Basically I was forced to take the vaccine in a sense. So isn't the vaccine supposed to work? And I already caught COVID once, so I didn't think I was going to catch it twice. But one thing that I did realize though is that I feel like COVID, it can be caught when it's flu season time. Like, that's when it comes back around, I guess, because that's what happened to me. And that's what happened to most students, actually. Most students, they caught it around that time, flu season. And, you know, some people, they're so disgusting, bro. They sneeze everywhere. They don't wash their hands. They don't sanitize. So, like, when they cough, like, all over without any regard to other people. So I feel like that's how I got it, maybe, because even that first time I never went out. Like, when they told students not to go out or to sneak out or whatever, not to go outside the campus, I never did it. I was inside all the time. So I definitely got it from someone because I was still inside. I'm not ranting. Everybody, look, that's not ranting. The school already knew that. They just kind of let it slide because, being locked up is like being locked up in jail, and nobody wants that. So, yeah, that's what happened, and I was very sick. My parents was kind of funny with the situation. My dad was making jokes. He was like, the first time I told him, he was like, oh, man, you got a weak immune system. You're not like me. I'm like, bro, I'm sick. I'm about to die. He talking about my immune system. But he was probably speaking facts because I caught it twice. But this year, inshallah, when I go back, I'm maxed. Like, during the winter, I'm being maxed up. Nobody can tell me nothing because I'm trying to travel again during the winter, and I hope I don't catch it again. So, yeah, that was my story of how I almost died from COVID. I didn't almost die, but technically I kind of did. I'm probably a little bit dramatic. But if you guys are new, make sure you guys subscribe. If you like this podcast, make sure you guys drop a like, leave a comment. Give me some topics that you guys want me to talk about, actually. If you're on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, make sure you guys follow, leave a review. And yeah, I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys for listening. To those 10 listeners, I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys next week. Assalamu alaikum.